Hi, I'm Shane and this is Becky.
Hi.
We're from the recruitment team here at Geneva Healthcare. The next series of videos that we're going to be presenting are about putting your best self forward when you apply for a job in terms of putting your CV together. I guess between the two of us, God, I must have seen tens of thousands of CVs over the years. So I think I would consider that we're pretty expert on this topic. I think my main thing, Becky, is about keeping it simple.
Yeah, I would totally agree. We see so many CVs where it's just overdone with all sorts, and I think it just needs to be drawn right back to keeping it to 3 or 4 pages max to begin with.
Definitely, 3 or 4 pages. There's no need to go into roles that you had 15 years ago if you're irrelevant to the job you're putting yourself forward for. And I think the main thing is focus on those jobs that are relevant for the last sort of 5 or 10 years.
Yeah.
And focus on those and bullet point, what you do in those jobs.
Correct.
And then anything prior to that, you just kind of really, you can include them,
but at the very
don't
end,
go into great depth.
Agreed. Yeah.
And I think the other thing one of my pet peeves is when people just copy and paste their current job description into their CV.
Yeah, very obvious.
It's so obvious when they do that. And I think you don't want like your full job description and say every single thing and all about following policies and procedures. I mean, everyone knows that. You want to just highlight what your skills and tasks are. And
your key responsibilities, And again, doing that's going to create a shorter, more effective CV.
Absolutely. How do you feel about formatting of a CV? Like how would you, if you saw the ideal CV, how would you want it presented?
Yeah, so I think for me, in my opinion, it goes right back again to that keeping it simple with your formatting. So no crazy borders,
crazy colours.
Yeah, keeping the colour to black. Your font, that's also quite important.
Oh yeah, no Comic Sans.
No.
Just a professional font, absolutely.
Yeah, and I think spell check.
Spell check, yeah. And I hate, and this is just probably a personal thing, but tables in a CV can be sometimes they work and sometimes they're effective.
Yeah.
But sometimes if the tables aren't aligned properly, it's just very difficult to read.
Yeah, completely. Yeah, so I would say the thing with formatting is just like we said before, keeping it quite straightforward, keep it basic and readable. And
bullet points are your friend, definitely. Do you think it's necessary to include referees on a CV?
I think it is acceptable to put referees available on request, but then when you do provide that information, it needs to be up to date. It needs to be, a professional reference, so a supervisor or someone that you reported to, and you want to make sure that the contact details are correct. Yeah,
make sure that it's the current emails, current phone numbers. And I guess if you're not putting them on your CV, you should be thinking about who you want to contact.
Yeah.
And having given them a heads up that you're putting them as a referee.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing worse when we're checking referees that they haven't been contacted and they don't. Sometimes the worst is when they don't even remember who you are.
Yes, yeah, and it almost gets you off on the wrong foot, doesn't it?
It does.
So it becomes quite difficult for us to then kind of work around that when we're completing a reference check for a candidate. Yeah. So cover letters, I guess that's the other thing. What are your thoughts?
A lot of people would argue now that they're not really necessary in the modern day. I still like a cover letter because it gives you an opportunity to address the specific advert and I think the main thing is not to rehash your CV in your cover letter.
Yeah.
You want to address the selection criteria of the ad and highlight why you are the best person for the job.
Correct, yeah. And I think the other thing I would just add into that is that you don't want to repeat your CV, which you just touched on, but also don't waffle, so keep it to
2 or 3 paragraphs. 3 or 4,
paragraphs max, for sure.
It's a nice introduction.
It is.
And I think keep it light, but keep it professional.
Yeah. And it's a nice introduction as long as you've put the right employer.
Yes,
and
make
the
sure
right
you
job.
put the right job and the right name of the person, absolutely. So if you're looking for a job, then go online to www.genevahealth.com and we've got lots of jobs posted there. Or you can contact us on our recruitment phone line.
Yes, which is 0800 266 577.
Or send your CV based on those amazing tips we've just given you to recruitment@genevahealth.com.
Great, thanks for watching.